What is this? What culture being positive about WWE and no Simon Miller in sight? Granted, it's sort of cheating, as this list is about crap gimmicks that WWE salvaged, but sod it, I'll take it. It is completely backwards, of course, but on rare occasions, WWE was and is capable of forward thinking. With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times WWE turned trash into treasure. Number 10, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is a natural babyface capable of popping the boys and ending careers in less than 140 characters. So, of course, WWE turned her heel in the summer of 2018. Only something else inevitable happened then too. Becky Lynch was such a charismatic star that WWE recognised it and repackaged her as an anti-hero that drew comparisons with a certain Mr. Austin. What we're seeing now is the complete opposite of what WWE had intended, but anything to keep Vince McMahon Scrooge McDucking, I suppose. What we're seeing now is treasure where there once was trash. Becky Lynch is so good in this role. You can almost see the last lot of fun slowly ooze out of her. This is a woman who knows she deserves to be where she's at and couldn't care less about how she got there. Don't at me. Number 9, Floyd Mayweather. Traditionally, casual crowds react favourably to celebrities in the pro wrestling arena, although it's maybe best not to mention the whole Raw guest host era, which was scientifically proven to be bollocks. But there's also Floyd Mayweather, a mega box office attraction for years because people were so desperate to see somebody actually get a punch in on the git. However, being oh so small, WWE initially presented Money as an underdog babyface character. When will you learn, Vince? This development was obviously panned, and with mainstream eyes on the company, WWE altered the trajectory and turned the heel. The potential disaster materialized as a genuine triumph. Arguably the most entertaining use of a non-wrestler in WWE history. Mayweather was in peak prick mode at WrestleMania 24, evading Big Show's lumbering offense with a mugging, Adam Cleary-esque grin plastered all over his face in a smoke and mirrors masterclass. Even boxing fans probably cite this as the most entertaining thing Floyd has ever been a part of. Number 8, Andrade Cien Almas. Hold on, comment section. Don't go in on me all caps blazing just yet. Hear me out. Andrade Cien Almas was, of course, never trash, but WWE didn't half botch his introduction. Reimagined by NXT, he arrived decked out like Jeff Jarrett, slapping hands as he made his way to the ring. No. Thank Christ, WWE decided to rehabilitate the act by pairing him with one of those manager thingies that were quite popular back in the day. You see, they don't always have to be used to make big men look big or to piss themselves at Survivor Series. Almas and Zelina Vega were an instant success. He was always in-ring royalty, but Vega handed him the keys to the kingdom. Number 7, The New Day. Looking back, that first introductory vignette was chronic. We've been there before though, eh, Kofi? Say Trouble in Paradise in a Jamaican accent. You're not getting me with that one again. The New Day, backed by gospel singers, promised to unleash the power of positivity, drawing, as everybody expected, a negative reaction in these ever-cynical times. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. After leaning heavily and not obliviously into the obnoxiousness of the act, New Day turned face almost exactly as they turned heel. The hyper-annoying bit turned back on itself to become oddly charming, a bit like I hope to, eventually. Anyway, it was clear that the stable were having the time of their bloody lives out there. Fun, creativity, and palpable, all-too-rare agency, not positivity, has powered the act's staying power. They could wrestle Usos tomorrow, still find meat on the bones, and then sell it as merch. Number 6, Batista. WWE repaired Batista twice. First, he arrived on SmackDown as second, to the second best part of the Dudley Boyz tag team, and the less said about Deacon Batista and his backstory, the better. Atoning for their sin, though, WWE quickly shoved Batista into the Evolution faction. But just how big was his buy rate? Well, this version of Batista alongside John Cena drew a record pay-per-view buy rate at WrestleMania 21. He then returned at the 2014 Royal Rumble as the stark antithesis to the man WWE pegged him to replace, Daniel Bryan. That went well. The wheezing dinosaur to Bryan's incandescent state-of-the-art performer, Blutista, both were synonyms of public enemy number one. WWE repositioned Batista as a heel, and he reveled in his role as a spiteful, pissed-off mercenary. Batista was a killer in that triple threat match and put the Shield over big time as the final boss in 2 consecutive 6-man stunners. Number 5, Mark Henry. The WWF wanted Mark Henry off the books so desperately that Vince McMahon greenlit an on-screen humiliation campaign. Thankfully, nowadays, that never happened. Oh. Henry, throughout the Attitude Era, having failed to master the basics and proven himself as a danger to himself and others, was repackaged as sexual chocolate. We all have our vices. Kurt Angle's happened to be gutter sluts. And Henry had vices plural. Transvestites, octogenarians, bodybuilders, family members, they all wanted a taste of Henry's sexual chocolate. Yummy. Once Henry relearned his trade and became a respectable, if limited worker, the sensitive performer grew in confidence to such an extent that he pulled off a late career fairy tale run, inducting all who dared face him into the Hall of Pain. This, at long last, was the Henry Vince McMahon signed in 1996. A terrifying oral and physical nightmare, his work was so good that the Hall of Pain and not the years of shame have informed his legacy to the mat game. Number 4, the APA. Be honest, we all know that the Acolytes were just the 2 nearest big lads that The Undertaker could daub naff satanic imagery on, and it didn't matter that one was a cowboy and the other was a black nationalist. That was the extent of the act. It was as one-dimensional as it gets. However, Bradshaw and Farouk then became the Acolytes Protection Agency because, well, WCW, and they were a fun part of the shared universe fabric, utilised to advance storylines, deliver retribution, and make sure the lads got beers, basically. 2 formidable bruisers, they were believable in the role, and as blunt with sharp one-liners as they were thudding the hapless to the canvas. The way in which the APA clobbered their opponents ranks them among some of the most painful-looking stuff to ever emanate from the squared circle. Just looking at photos of them destroying goobers gives me a concussion. Number 3, Kane. Where to begin? Corporate Kane, Embrace the Hate Kane, May 19th Kane, Cuck Kane, Finn Balor burying Kane, teetering around tables and your mask falling off in Australia Kane, Rapist Kane. But before all that, he was also an absolute crap magnet, burdened throughout the 90s as Fake Diesel, who's still better than world champion in 2010 Kane, FYI, and the evil personal dentist of Jerry Lawler, Isaac Yankem. Jacobs was repackaged as Kane in late 1997. Years and years and years, as we've mentioned, of plodding, mediocre overfamiliarity followed, but before all that, Kane was a genuinely brilliant monster. It wasn't just an inspired gimmick, nor a well-crafted long-term narrative. Jacobs, behind a mask, conveyed an unreal sense of menace, every bit as unsettling and iconic as the horror movie monsters after which he was modelled. Just look at the creepy bastard. His supernatural ability was to launch hapless jobbers halfway up the Raw ramp. This version of Kane survives actual decades of diminished returns to inspire unease every time you return to 1997 on your network watch list. Ugh. Number 2, the Women's Revolution. It seemed so simple, didn't it? And then they added Stephanie McMahon, who, as we all know, invented women's wrestling. Instead of giving divas, or more accurately, women, a chance, the benevolent billion-dollar princess had the grace to allow these women to incongruously and without explanation form groups based on their ethnicity, resulting in anonymous and confusing multi-women matches. Team Bad, Team Bella, and what were initially called the Submission Sorority, because no one at WWE has ever heard of Google, apparently. Mercifully, WWE put a swift end to this bizarre development, and to put over the notion that women were equal to men, book them like their male counterparts. Genius! 2 awesome televised matches ushered in the sea change. The brutal Falls Count Anywhere clash between Banks and Charlotte on the November 28, 2016 Raw, and the babyface versus heel masterclass women's title bout between Charlotte and Bayley on the February 13, 2017 Raw. Previously, the women were shunted to the death slot on pay-per-view, but now the revolution was indeed televised. Number 1. NXT. The original game show version of NXT wasn't a mere affront to pro wrestling, it was a caricature of sports entertainment. Look at Titus, he can't run with a barrel. Several rookies, some perceived as genuine prospects, were ritually embarrassed by WWE in what felt like the on-screen destruction of Vince McMahon's patience. If they can survive this bollocks, they can survive anything. It took the most raucous Raw angle of the decade just to salvage those 8 men from the scrap heap. And then SummerSlam 2010 happened. The preposterousness continued unabated. Microphones were thrust into the faces of the damned. No bullet points, only bullet holes. The competitions somehow became even goofier. I'm not even mad, that's amazing. The show, designed to highlight the future, instead stigmatized the future as utterly hopeless. And then NXT became even more insane. It became the critically acclaimed pro wrestling component of WWE's sports entertainment empire. They actually polished a turd so much, it became a glistening diamond. Don't try that at home, kids. Triple H assumed the reins from John Laurinaitis and reinvented developmental as a brand in which talent ideally, developed, instead of wrestling in front of posters in gyms. Trips pushed the talent the fans wished to see, pushed talent we didn't know we even wanted, and reimagined NXT as an independent-styled league with glamorous corporate backing. Moral of the story? Unless Mitsuharu Misawa and Kenta Kobashi are involved, don't let Johnny Ace near anything. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out our new wrestling podcast by searching for What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes or Spotify. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.